worth it.
Looting.
Like baggy.
Yeah, totally. 5 minutes?
Yep.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, drawing creases in fabrics is tricky.
That's actually why I just about failed art class.
Really?
Yeah. It was an utter refusal to draw drapes in a sketchbook challenge.
Oh yeah. I believe that.
That's not really what teaching's about, though.
No,
That
like
was some bad-
I was based on the principle of it that I didn't want to succumb to that kind of teaching practice. Hindsight, though, I could have just done it, but I was on a mission.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an idea. This is a big deal for us.
Is this copyright-free music?
Yes.
What is copy?
Oh yeah, look at it.
I bought a license
Yeah, you can get copyright.
from Artlist, and I have a year of all the free music I want.
I was paying $15.
Some of it sounds a lot like
We play like Name That Tune, like pretty some of them you can tell like who they listen to.
This is very Rumble House music.
It is, yeah.
It's like we're in the inspiration.
Wait, you want something more edgy?
No, this is fun. Oh, that.
It doesn't all suck.
No, it's just fun. Experiment.
This was like truck commercial.
Yeah, gosh.
Chevy.
Chevy. Wow, we haven't had music for like 18 weeks.
Is it 18?
This is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Rich. This is incredible.
No, I actually mean thank you for saying that.
No, it's really
I spend so much money on copyright.
I don't mind people getting paid.
yeah.
That is annoying. You also need kind of drop that too.
Yeah.
Told you it was edgy.
Where you find me? Hope you find me. When the sun rises, when the sun.
Are they youth or
Really comfortable and
Oh yeah,
nostalgic.
yeah.
They like the little gold eyelets on it. I was like, need some gold eyelets.
Oh, it just moves. Oh, my content. Nice.
Are we on time?
Ah,
Should we do one more 5 minutes? And then we'll go into 10 minutes.
I'm so sad. Quicker.
Here's to the broken man who stood and walked when it hurt you can't. Shows me that faith is more inside. Here's to the wandering child looking for the star guy, pushing through the darkness of the night.
Now it's interesting from like behind, you can't hear like the head for
Yeah, so you just went by, yeah, shapes it
So you
together.
just going like
Yeah.
That's so real.
yeah, like sometimes you draw with darks and lights, sometimes you draw with shapes and shadows, sometimes you draw with lines. I hate when I'm like doing a series that whatever I'm doing calls for a different, like I go, I've got 6 in a row, you know, I'm exactly what I did in the last one. It suits maybe more shadows and lights than it does lines or gestures. Contours. Like, if we were playing this music
Like a
4
normal.
months ago,
Yeah.
I would have been filled with rage. But right now, I'm so grateful for music.
Right. Would have been so simple.
Like, it's like you kind of cleared your palate and your mind's a little more open to
It's just like Jesus, yeah. Yeah, see? I told you, every song you think of something.
Brand new experience. Like we just come up with a commercial just like that. Remember how it's so good?
Oh, I see.
World doesn't see. Someday we could all be free. Could change the world.
I wonder if these guys like Mumford and Sons. Like, I wonder if they've heard of Mumford.
You didn't miss the singers?
Someday we could all be free. Yeah, we could change the world if we would just
Yeah.
What a neat life that would be to just be pumping out like royalty free music. Like, if they write the way I draw, like I could sit and draw like clip art stuff all day long.
For fun? What? For fun?
Clip art, nothing.
Just for money. Yeah, I wouldn't do
I think at one point I was offered an opportunity to do a clip art test. The problem I had was it felt like I was cannibalizing my industry, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're getting paid for should you do a good job, the last disc anybody's ever
Yeah. How much did you get paid then? Were people offering? They'd ask you,
It wasn't as much as you think. A friend of mine did cropping for Adobe. Cropping.
Yeah.
So he would get like 1,000
Oh man.
images for the day.
Yeah.
And he'd have to open each one and just crop and color correct them and close. And so I think was like something like 5 cents an image.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because if you did like 1,000 a day, you'd be like killing it. But
What's 1,000 times 1?
1,000 times 5 cents? It's $500.
500?
1,000. That's a lot of zeros.
That's 3 zeros, but 5 cents is 0.05.
It's $650.
Whoa,
That's killing it. I'm still killing it. Yeah. That's a lot. You just do that, or do you have to get hired on to that?
I would think, I don't know if it exists anymore, but at the time you kind of just have to
Is that fine?
probably know somebody.
Oh,
So
great.
somebody you get that kind of job. You just
So
need to
we'll
know.
go to a 10-minute next stage.
Well, I would think you needed the skills, and then on top of the skills,
Yeah.
like something
right.
I've found is people that go to school in Calgary and study art in Calgary and live as artists in Calgary have a weird sense of how disposable we are because we live in a city with a giant art university,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
All right. 10 minutes. Awesome. Thanks,
10 minutes.
you go to art school in Calgary and you have a sense like, oh, everybody went to ACAD. Now, like, who didn't go to ACAD?
Yeah.
Which is what I said to Jess when I met her.
Everybody went to Asia.
It worked out in my favor.
Did you guys go to ACAD?
Yeah.
Not together.
Oh, so yeah, both of them.
So she was hired to work at my school, and I was the art teacher. And sometimes you teach 4 or 5 years before you get your art class, just like science or drama or something. So I finally had a spot where I was just teaching art, and Jess shows up because their numbers were up, which means they brought some 15 exchange students from Spain in, and it meant we got an extra teacher to cover for
The numbers.
yeah, the numbers. And then so she shows up at the school, and the principal and the vice principal are walking around the school introducing her to people. They come to my room here. I wasn't bad. Like, my life was falling apart. Things. Feeling just disjointed about my life as an artist. And
So that was pre-Griffin.
yeah, so they open up the door and I'm like, this is Jessica. She's new. We don't know where we're going to put her yet. And I'm like, yeah. And then she looks at me. She's like, I love the art room. I went to ACAD. And it just, I don't know, it was the wrong moment. Because I said to my boss, my other boss, and this new pretty girl, everybody went to ACAD, and it's like the door in their faces.
Oh yeah. I felt that.
Anyway, I lost depression. She's like,
That's what she do.
She's like, what's that guy's secret?
Why does he have no shoes?
Is this mysterious? Such angst.
This is a 6 on one.
Right.
And you chip in your 25 cents. $200 a year, I think it was.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, at the time, I was making 2 or 3 videos a day at school,
Not bad.
for school, and the hardest part of my day was trying to figure out what to do to make the sound bearable. What I had been doing was taking songs that I thought were really good and flipping them backwards into like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty awesome backwards.
So does Art Blakey. You can't even tell it's backwards.
What do you turn it back to?
In photos.
Just in my movie.
This is like a Hollister app. Or whatever.
I'm sure someone out there on YouTube is enjoying that.
They were.
I didn't mean that I didn't like it. I was just
I
saying this.
personally did not like it.
Oh, okay. I just didn't want to be
So much sarcasm we can.
overload.
This is like when the planets are aligning.
You put this in a movie. Like this is a movie.
Rich made a beautiful art show video of all his kids' work. And he used this.
Somebody's so
The wind just closed that door. Maybe I should check that the wind
Yeah, I just checked it on.
Some like rogue person came over.
capacity.
That's hard. That's a hard thing.
It's just the wind.
Forgot that was my job.
I got you covered.
So how's your capacity determined?
Like
mood.
my
Do I think you?
No, well, we're actually right now we're just practicing,
being responsible.
and so it's really hard because we're not good at saying no, and we're not the kind of people that believe in saying no. But if we don't, we're going to get charged $100,000, and then we'll have to close the gallery down. So it's like this is the 5th time I found myself finding a new layer of I can't believe I have to be the grown up here.
Did you say 100 grand?
For businesses, yeah. Up to if you need.
Should do go little, medium, but still that's a big fine.
Like you'd hope there'd be warnings.
But it's still scary. Like I don't want to be like because we don't have any like.
It probably might have a little to do with how many times you've licked off your.
5 years ago, I would have gone in front of the camera and started that.
But what
What?
the hot spots?
That's what they're called.
No, it's Missy Elliott.
Oh, I think Oh, that is Missy Elliott. Wow.
The streets fill up, we're mixed with light. Goes down longer, and light shines back. Going past such a blast on the train, we both on a place to feel the rush again.
I think they sampled Travis Barker on the drums. This is the drums.
Okay.
We're invincible. You don't like it? We take a spin down the highway. Never let go. So we drive to the show and we shout, we don't know how it goes. So good to feel the rush again. And it's never gonna die. We're invincible.
You can't get someone to drive and see.
Oh, 1 second. Closer to your person.
Oh, sure. Let me set it back. No, so go behind the church. Oh, we can get
Facing us.
Would you mind just wearing the same clothes with the lights, right? Yeah. That's good.
Can I suggest something too? Just like insulting the shooting. Like a natural muscle. If that's all right.
Oh, I don't care how he poses. I'm just trying to get him to fit into the frame.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Are you good? Physically? Okay.
So far, so good.
Decade.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Thank you.
Do we have the song already? This is
You can hear Brian coughing all the way.
Like, how's Brian gonna know if he has to go?
See, your neighbor.
Yeah. Across the street.
We're just like family now.
Yeah.
I probably told you this story before. One of the highlights of being here was I used to think Brian was going to go ballistic on us because he'd sit on the balcony every Wednesday, stoic, looking like he was about to explode, like not making eye contact and just like not moving. But I just assumed we were so noisy, we're driving him nuts. And I had so much anxiety about ruining this guy's life. And then one day, I walked out the front, and he was just sitting out front, kind of closer to the daycare. And I walked over and said, "Hi, I'm Rich. We're your neighbors." He's like, "I know you. I know you, Rich. Let's go." So I was like, "I hope we're not too noisy." He's like, "No, Wednesday's my favorite night." So from the second floor, he knew everything about us. He was following us and taking part, but he was just too shy to look down. So here I was assuming he was like hating us, and he was actually like, that was his weekly connection.
Yeah.
And then one day I walked in and just like, oh, and Brian was saying he wanted to get some music because he can't listen to any music in his apartment. And we'd just given away a record player like the day before. I was like, why didn't you tell me? We just gave a record player away. So I didn't think of it. So we went to the sketchiest basement in the city because I saw an ad on Facebook for free free stereo. It turned out to not have a needle. It needed the needle replaced, which I think wasn't maybe within Brian's reach because it doesn't drive. But the same guy that sold it to me gave me, and he was storing all this stuff in cars in the basement. So we go down to the basement. He opens up this Honda Civic and gives me a stereo that was piled on top of other stereos. And then before I leave, he's like, "You want a box of CDs?" And he gives me a box of CDs for free, but out of a different car that somebody was sitting in. I give him all Brian.
Oh, you gave him all that.
The only one I wanted to keep was Johnny Cash. And they put it in to make sure that the machine worked. And then Brian was nervous about setting it up, so we went to his house and set it up for him. And I came home and I grabbed the CD case for Johnny Cash and put it in the car. And as I went through the machine. But it's the only thing that Brian listened to for like 2 years. And every night we'd go home with your Johnny Cash on.
Wow.
So we have this amazing life, Jess and I. But every single thing we thought we wanted turned out to be unnecessary. And none of the stuff that really matters we could ever plan for. There's no way to anticipate that Brian would be one of the greatest moments of living Uncle House.
Yeah.
Oh, I think another goodbye moment. It was his birthday. We were walking down the street from the circle, and he was like, "Happy birthday, Rich!" from his balcony. It was like, "I love you, Brian."
How do you, Brian? Does that mean Brian's your longest friend?
No. We only met him like after we started.
Well, he was our friend for a year
Before we knew.
before we knew him.
You're saying Andrew was your longest friend?
Andrew?
Yeah, it was Andrew.
It's Andrew? We've known him for a long time. Did we meet you through here, or were you at Marilla?
No, I was too nervous to do
Okay, yeah. Then we met you when we started here. How did we meet you? We just always known.
I don't know, I think I just showed up.
There was something overwhelming about Gorilla House. Like the way they came off.
Yeah, you guys seem like really
Really, what?
I think there was a different vibe.
I should fix it.
When I first read about it online, I was like, I don't think I can survive there. I don't think I know what to say.
Oh, you know what it was? Do you know Rita Rennie?
Yes.
She's got that group called Go Figure.
Go figure. Yeah.
I was over there, and they're like, "Oh, you look like this guy Rich. Do you know Rich? You look like Rich."
That's awesome.
We do look alike, and there's also another guy that you and I look like named Kevin Hayes.
Oh my gosh, the three of you.
We should start a boy band.
I think Kevin's ready to shoot his head as well.
You should also do that. Or no,
And then just like mess with people. Like,
Oh my god, that would be really fun on the live broadcast because you're just slightly different, and then people are like, "I don't think that's Rich," but
I love
yeah, just like take a break and then switch one body for the other.
Yeah, I love seeing like a bunch of bald people in my room and just being so confused.
Actually, I used to have this blue sweater with a red stripe, but I had a matching red sweater with a blue stripe. And I would put one over top of the other, and every time I went into the storage room in my class, I'd peel it off or put it back on. So the kids, they'd be like, "No, there was a stripe." But like,
Yeah, just mess with them. Or maybe I could come to your classroom and just like, go to the storage room to get something.
Okay.
I think
Continue on
like
with the lesson.
I think it would work better if we did like a stages thing where like put me at the end, Kevin in the middle, and you at the other end, kind of like we're walking through like we're walking through like something that gave me radiation or something. Like I got wrinkly and puffy. Okay, this needs to. Another way to sort these by you can go by genre. What can we by drum instrument? I wonder if it's got drums. Here's a weird. Okay, hold on. Oh, what did I do? All right, let's try this.
Like 300.
Oh yeah.
Does this give you ideas for your next goal?
Hi. 10, yeah.
Oh, that was an awesome photo.
Do you want
Full
to
of
do another 10? Do you want to take a little break, or are you
I can keep on.
good?
For another 10 minutes.
Okay. Sorry, I apologize. I'm scratching my eyeball. Thanks.
It's all right, as long as you don't scratch my eyeball.
But it won't scratch your eyeball.
Perched on that chair without the hood works really well.
Yeah.
Can
I'm
you
really
kind of
doing
tuck your
well.
hood back a bit? Yeah, like up on the chair, the ears work really great against the white shirt.
There was something weird about having a hood. It was just so hard to turn in the headset.
Right?
Like 10 minutes? Okay, 10 minutes.
Very close.
Drum line in high school.
Well, it's got a way to select things, and I selected it by acoustic drums,
Cool.
which I think they might have a weak understanding of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're kind of building this hodgepodge of like a concept, like, oh, what if we grouped them by instrument? And then the guy actually organized it. He's like, how the hell am I supposed to separate these into drums? And then he found this and got really excited.
I feel like I gotta draw with more integrity.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
How would that look?
Like I'm hungry.
Hungry.
Hungry. Yeah. Gotta have better posture.
The value of this just doubled for me. Of the royalty.
Nice.
It's got long.
I don't know why I so wanted to try this. I guess because I knew I'd get an earful about using both computers. Is that why?
Not earful.
Like I might have said, hey, can I use both computers tonight? And you would say, I think I need the time. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
That wasn't an earful though. I was like, oops, I didn't know I had it. I didn't know
No, I
that.
didn't like. But do
I
you
like
think
this
that's
idea.
yeah? But do you think that's why I was probably
Are you talking to him? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, could be. Because you
So royalty music, you just search out different
This is
keywords
one.
and
No,
you get.
there's like places where you can go and sort of Hunt and Peck for royalty-free music, but this is a web service where they have a library full of music, and you pay a one-time fee.
Or annual fee for
Yeah, an annual fee of, I think, was it $280 or was it $200?
closer to 200.
And so for $200, I can put
Like
any.
a subscription.
I can put any of their songs in any of my movies for a year. But like I said, when school was on, I was making
A lot
10
of
movies
art
a week. And because art's visual, I think one of the best ways to do the art lessons is drop the sound out and just have the kids watch and see what's happening. And then I would use like speed, time lapse to.
Like this would be great for a drawing video.
Yes. But I also think that I'd said out loud a few times, I need a free music streaming service. And then the mic on my phone plugged out into Google and started sending me ads.
Which is good because this is a positive.
I spent like $200.
Sorry, what did you say?
I had like a copyright free service. Yeah, and then I just never used it. I'm so scared to make videos. So
You paid it for it?
yeah.
Or was it Artlist?
No, it was monthly. So I paid a total of $300 for 10 months, and I was like, cancel this. I was too scared to do it.
I got a question for you because I've been thinking about, and these are actually things I never would have considered. I considered like totally unnecessary in the universe, and now I'm thinking of buying into them. Is a subscription service, no, a studio for live broadcasting. So currently I use Facebook and YouTube for free. But the advantage, were you about to tell me earlier, you know a little bit about
Yeah, so I really recommend XSplit.
what's it called?
XSplit.
X.
SPLIT, and just an X in front of that.
And so you purchase it.
No, you don't. Actually, it's a free service,
Yeah.
and you can multimedia stream through it. So you can go stream through Twitch, YouTube, and they'll give you a list of all the places that I can stream through. But it can take multiple sources and then combine those sources. So like with your DJI, you know how it's all through an app, right? You can take that URL in your DJI app. And
Can I also put up animations and stuff
yeah, you can put animations,
on the
videos.
fly?
Yeah, you can just drop it in.
And titles?
Yeah.
And are there effects?
Yeah.
I don't like effects, but it's nice to know they're there.
Yeah, there's chroma key and all that.
There's what?
Chroma key. So like for
Right.
if you stand in front of that purple.
So what are the ones that are for sale?
I just know of XSplit because it's been I've been using it since I was 15, so almost 15 years ago.
What do you use it for?
I use it when I was doing live web streams of my online persona. Like this devil guy.
I've seen this. I saw a video. Right? Was it an animation?
No.
It was like a guy lopping something off, and it repeated.
No, I just used to do these live streams. And it
Can you
never
show
went
me a
anywhere.
video of your devil guy?
I have?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Oh my god.
There was an ostinato to it. There was a lot of repetition. It was interesting. It was like a film, and it had a strange sort of like you're on acid sort of feel to it.
That must have been my like swinging
It had
balls.
penises,
Yeah, swinging animation. Yeah.
And then I was like, actually didn't mind the animation quality.
Oh,
That was pretty good. I wasn't sure why you were so intent on swinging the balls, but like I'm not judging in any way. I just couldn't connect to it. I was worried you're gonna get a testicular trigger.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think that the world
That's really funny because we had the same conversation with someone else today.
What's that?
That the world needs more festivals. Arthur.
When I was 16, I was like 14 years ago. So,
Just be a little bit careful with that.
oh yeah, just
Some
language.
balls.
Oh, you can see balls. That's good.
Basketball.
Like, this is like some soulful drumming, and that's how I got on there, but you can tell they're stretching it for. I'll try another genre. Maybe I'll try piano.
Does YouTube have an audio that you can see doing like violating its language laws?
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
kicked off.
No, we should call back.
Well, we might just have really bad Wi-Fi, and we swear a lot. You know, like, how would we know what's really happening?
Really, who are we to say?
So every time we've been kicked off, there was at least one swear, and that may or may not mean something.
Right, it could have just been coincidence. That's funny.
I mean, how many times have you sworn and not gotten kicked off? Is it to an adult audience, or do you include?
We used to do it to, at all ages video because
Yeah.
I thought that then it'd be more like
It's not for
accessible.
kids. But then I realized we're actually making it sound like it was meant for kids,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So then
which was a mistake.
we learned that.
But like, we started live broadcasting under extreme duress, and there's been no chance to observe or refine. We're guessing at everything. Actually, Kelly's been our best resource for what's going on. She'll sort of like let us know when the screen's done.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys are frozen.
Which, like, I don't know if you feel appreciated enough by that, Kelly, because your response is probably like, Jesus! But really, we're grateful that you've been doing that for us.
Oh, I haven't.
And you know what? Tech support never gets, like, thank you calls.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got my computer working, thanks. Or it's like, you get the phone call. I remember as a gag, the tech support, actually, it was Kevin Hayes at CyberSurf. He used to do this thing where when he got busy, he would forward calls to me on my line, and I was very
Oh, and you
excited.
knew Kevin Hayes in CyberSurf?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
he was one of the young tech support guys.
Good old Kevin.
And then, actually, my first year teaching, I taught with his mom.
Crazy.
Actually, I think that's the very first time I actually done little.
Nice.
I'm trying to do the space with your telling me.
Yeah.
Did I go
So
space?
I'm trying to.
That's good pose.
Oh, it's painful too.
Oh, do you need water?
Take a 2-minute 5-minute break and just go get in the water. It is warm, so we wouldn't want you having it.
That's so sweet.
That one.
It looks like a.
That's cool. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I think that like there's like multiple angles. Like this. So like if I wanted to get the shoulders here, I would just like see like how I think the shoulders are looking. Two circles there. Yeah. Get like a bar. This is kind of like the
This is like a chase scene or like the inspiration moment of
You're right.
like they found their
pink, but it also looks like it looks like a
Oh,
spot.
my phone's
I like
yeah.
it.
Oh, that's
The butternut. I think my
The long cable
I'm gonna get like the
is
little.
currently charging my phone behind me. Can you see it?
Like,
yes.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I have a
That's
shirt
cool.
cable for you.
oh,
Do you want to try contact?
no, no.
What'd you say?
I have a shirt.
I had one.
I don't need to charge that. Just take that cable, plug it in over there, and plug it in before it shuts off. Jess,
I drew you with a diaper
We're
so
going.
that I could
I
get
need
you.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I need a cube.
Yeah.
there should be a cube. You
Oh,
just
no,
took it
here,
out.
I got it.
I should start wearing a diaper.
Yeah, then that's actually like the best way to show off,
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of like shape.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So full adult diaper.
Next time we come, adult diaper.
You know, full adult diaper.
You know, you have an idea.
Convenience?
That would be helpful. Yeah, you can stand up there for
The
a long period
cubes?
of time.
No,
Yeah.
they're-
You can have sneak out
it
of
has 4 little USB.
It helps you and it helps
Oh,
us.
cool.
Mhm.
That's good to know.
And then you just plug in and put 4 ports in.
Oh, nice.
How many people? Just one?
One currently, but they might have just known
That's me.
because there's a bunch of people that logged on. You know, like people log in and log on.
I shared it to.
They're all probably thinking, wow, Rich trimmed down. Why is he so still?
Do you think 10 minutes is a good time, you guys, or what? What are you thinking, too, Andy? Great. Should we start with a 10 and maybe
Mm.
we can do
Yeah,
longer?
10.
10 and we can do like 15s after.
If we're gonna do drapery, we should do a half an hour. But if you guys don't want to do drapery,
Oh yeah. Here, let's do. Do you want to do like a 15-minute to start, and then we can do like maybe a couple 20s? Yeah. Cool. Guess it's good for okay. So 15. Awesome. Thank you. That's like where I'm scared of screen up and then I look better.
Oh,
well, Bumble House is the only time in my life I got to draw with men. Because it's big technical.
Oh, interesting. There's always the same guy when I was in.
the client count?
No. But I don't know if it's one. Oh, actually, I think it was our friend's husband. And our friend.
That's totally close. Captain
On the side, I don't do the body thing.
I heard that you guys like figured it crossbow.
Yeah, they do like one class. That's has something design in it. It's like one class out of 11 classes. I'm not saying it wrong. 1 day is what the figure drawing. So I would take that class.
Yeah. So I remember I took like a drawing, after there's drawing, like there was painting, and there's like all
Yeah.
that. There are so many opportunities.
In second year, yeah, you can take the figure drawing. Yeah, unless it's fine arts anatomy, and that's a whole different thing. Fine arts anatomy just makes you think about your own anatomy, like how you represent yourself and perform to the world.
Like, yeah, more conceptually based.
Yeah, so you have to take a design.
So fine arts anatomy would be a reaction to when I was in school. There was a massive backlash against the exploitation of the community.
Yeah.
And these people were just so livid about the justification of this and that. But really, always the people leading that fight were the conceptualist artists who really didn't want to go to anatomy. So it's hard to decipher whether this is a battle against the dehumanizing aspect of your drawing, or whether it was like, I don't want to do that. And I remember similarly around that time was my class went to the board, and we were offered the opportunity to not go if we didn't want to go.
Right.
And I was like, of course I'm going to take the day off, so I'm going to go to the not because I was grossed out by it. I just wanted the day off.
Everybody needs a day off there.
I used to work day and night at ACAD.
Yeah.
I had a apartment not far away.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I would stay up all night painting,
Yeah.
talk my face off, drive everybody nuts. And then it would start going home and the next group of people come in, they'd be happy to see me. So I'd talk my face off and I'd drive them nuts.
Sounds like a lot has changed.
After a few hours, right? After a few hours of rest,
Actually, yeah.
the late night people would come back. But you know what? Like, for as much as I talked and went on, what I remember about ACAD is I was never alone in the studio. And we had a small studio because my studio mate was so offensive that nobody wanted to partner with him. And he was in my circle of friends. I didn't want to partner with him either. But we ended up getting a room for 4 people to 2 because nobody wanted to be in the space with him. But I was never alone. There was always somebody hanging out, just sitting on the couch while I was drawing and talking and drawing. And when school ended, I didn't really feel the magic. So open this up, please, so I can talk and draw. I don't so much see art making as a finished product or an activity. It's like it's a dance. It's an interaction between people. And I'll have drawings when I'm done, but they've got nothing to do with what's important.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Like, love the process of it, or like breathing. It's just what you do. Byproduct is just love art.
It's the popcorn on the floor.
Yeah, right.
I like my life. Still, you're just half
Finishing is overrated.
We were just talking about your credits.
Oh, yeah.
Being kind of halfway through.
Yeah.
Are you going to go back to UCAD?
I want to get that through, and I don't want to miss it. So I'm talking to him tomorrow, and I'll let you know how it goes next week.
Because Oliver's going this year.
Yeah.
Have you met my son?
Yes, I met your son. He sold a couple of pieces of jewelry.
Yeah. His jewelry phase.
Jewelry is much easier. Think he's gonna stick to that?
What's that?
Oh no, he's already off.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's he interested
Painting more. Like really detailed. He's been doing like prints, making. Been really like trying stuff out.
I picture him going into something kind of industrial.
So it'd probably be printmaking at ACAD because that's pretty industrial.
Yeah, he likes stencils, so he might.
Hell yeah. I want to actually take up some.
He did that. He did that silverback.
Oh, sweet. And could he use like silk screen?
No,
Just
those
Just
are
just
aerosol.
sensitive.
Yeah,
How do you hand cut them?
he had cut.
Oh,
them. Yeah, he's the glue taking.
That's intense. That's a lot. There's cool stuff like animation because like Rich was interested in it. And then but we have this paper animation. Like all you have to do is cut out paper cutouts and do that.
Oh, like stop motion?
Stop
Or-
motion,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I do not need to perform yeah.
That's the thing. It's nice. I hope you get to try lots of different.
Oh yeah.
Like it hasn't changed too much. Right? Like it's still the different departments.
There's lots of different
Yeah.
departments. And there's all these minors. I have 4 minors.
Right?
Yeah. That's why I'm worried about my credits. It's like, oh, I don't want my minors. I don't want to lose any minors. Even though only one shows up on the actual degree. Yeah, like animation minors, illustration minors, graphic design minors. Goes on. But the best experience you can get out of there is definitely the object design minor. If you can get that minor, that's the best thing ever. And if you can get it right first year, it's such a good success. It's working with everything digital technologies and trying to design in computers and then make that real life.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I in the 3rd year of it, you get to code objects. So you make parametric designs.
Yeah.
And you get to learn how to make useful 3D printed objects that are all just coded.
Cool.
Yeah. That's an easier step. A lot of my printmaker friends, they go into tattoo design.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. That'd be great for them, especially. That's a skill that transfers
Yeah.
everywhere, and then you become so meticulous with your drawings.
And that's the thing, his style is so already like he's like really working on refining so
Yeah.
beautifully.
Finding out. That's a hard thing to stick to.
What's your replacement for EI?
CERP.
Like for this time?
Elementary?
Yeah, I know.
What's called?
CERP. CERP.
Well, that's
CERP
for the
is more
code.
the code.
What's an actual? Is EI the
EI is the unemployment insurance. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know why it's not UI.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
It's employment insurance is really
Yeah. Also, to all our viewers, you can get EI after you're done serving.
oh yeah.
In fact,
And they also extended it, right?
they extend it to, there's one more payment
Oh.
now. I think it's the end of August. biggest beef that they had is just the clicks. When people form an opinion of another and expect you to have that same opinion, I'm just like leave
That
that.
could change every week, though.
Yeah,
That's not something you can
yeah.
into an institution.
That's good.
Yeah, it's, I think that is the product of an institution.
What are the clips based around?
Well, I guess if you count the instructors as the clicks.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's, whoever's doing the best at art and
Oil painting is whoever's best.
the most
No,
prolific.
sculpture.
Yeah, whoever's the most prolific. Whoever is the best in
Or I guess throughout different time periods, there'd be different pushes for different ideologies too. Like when Rich was in there'd be a different push. He was saying it was always towards like no narrative anymore, purely.
Yeah, you don't know how to tell a story.
You weren't allowed to tell a story. You weren't
In their work, like it was driving towards pure abstraction almost. Then if you ever
allowed to tell any narrative. And now they're just driving to do narrative. to
right,
get
I was
interested.
gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
So they're looking to the stories again. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Time period shifts. Who's there? What's
Well,
happening in the
Okay,
world?
so I'm being conditioned
Yeah.
by 2 generations ago thought.
Yeah.
Right? Like, my best instructor was Halliday. And actually, I would say that he was pretty open to it. I wasn't so caught up. But most of my instructors were taking philosophies that they'd learned in the 60s and the 70s and passing them on to me. Where I was like,
We have time for 2 more 15. Is
Okay.
that okay?
That's
Yeah.
perfect. I'm not going to get any break.
You can focus on the drapery behind him, and he could be a silhouette.
Okay, I'll do that.
right? So, like, with
I'll
our,
just be-
we're not,
Negative space.
you have, what was hip in the 60s is going to be what your instructors are teaching in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so their contemporaries are going off and changing the world. And then, so, like, your instructors would have been influenced by David Hurst and, I want to say Jenny Saville and those 90s, 2000s.
Gender studies is a lot of
It's hard, right?
Totally. And cultural studies.
Yeah, cultural.
Yeah.
Which is like maybe the hardest thing for us when we started this space that welcomes everybody. Is there's 2
So 15 minutes. Yeah.
very different groups of experiences. With the biggest gap between the people that did or didn't go to art school is often you become desensitized that you can take a beating over your work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd say pro-sensitized, that you become extra cautious about what's appropriate.
Right, exactly.
And as each decade changes, what was appropriate 10 years ago is not appropriate now.
Yeah.
So, like, my daughter just finished at Emily Carr, quite militant about things that I'm quite passionate about, but she's she's got a couple layers up. And I was actually talking to a nurse who might be a little older than me the other day, and I've noticed people 10 years older than me still sort of hold some thoughts that we've never expressed. People 10 years younger than me have like gone so far in the other direction. So it's almost like we're splitting ourselves into these 10-year blocks of like, what would I call it?
Schools of thought, maybe. Like
Norms? Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years. So.
What did you say?
He said decades.
No, I mean the people. 10-year groups of like biases or
Yeah.
value systems.
And it's hard for me because I'm fighting the system all the time I'm going. I once beat myself with sticks and said, "This stops killing me," and I broke like these large sticks all over my body. And then the
That's an
professor,
art piece.
yeah, as an art piece, and the professor was like, "You're a bad actor."
You're bad.
Who's the who's the instructor?
Curtis Lessig.
Thing too, like my whole moment speaks for itself. Like,
Well-
see?
Here's where it's tough for the ACAD instructors. They don't know where you're headed,
Yeah, they don't.
and there's no set of rules for them either.
No.
So every time you produce or perform, they have to come up with the most innocuous, deniably plausible thing to say to your work that
So
doesn't
you do
offend,
make
so
it.
that your mom doesn't come in and complain, and that is defendable. So like, they come up and you get this. Tell me about the orange, and you're like, you know what? I'm paying to be here. But I think a lot of that has to do with like.
I think too, like, sorry.
No, because like, what if you turn out to be the next Van Gogh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's down in history that they slammed you. So they pick things that are tactile to work on. There's sort of a pattern actually to the kind of feedback I think you get at ACAD from the least authentic instructors, and it's a lot of it's kind of like, oh, check this out. They walk up to your piece and scratch the chin. They look at it really deeply. They make some vague comment about the general piece that's negative, but then to make up for it, they go into this one little corner and they go, but that right there, that's good.
Yeah.
They come up with this like, oh, this is this and this are wrong, but this little spot here, that's got promise. And you walk away better.
piece.
Yeah. That right there, that's the money. It's like, but it's just a dog, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think it's like who you like.
Well, there's like
in
Halliday
that
would be like,
system.
you shouldn't be in art school. And then, generations of that person's family would be out to kill him. Like, oh my God, I went to ACAD and this guy, Richard Halliday, told me I shouldn't be there. And so I quit. I'm like, well, if that's all it took, maybe it saved you some time and some cash.
That thing about like the innocuous feedback is like I need some garbage art at ACAD and no one calls me on it.
Really?
And I feel like I was pulling out like really personal stuff and dealing with like personal stuff, and I feel like no one wanted to touch it. Like they're like, "You're nice, yeah."
Yeah.
But no one told me on how bad the actual art was. Like someone should have told me on that.
I mean, there's also that timeline that you can't really do really great.
Right, yeah.
I had 4 paintings where the painting I got because I'm fast and I was staying up all night working. So if I needed 3 paintings in any given week, I'd have 12. And I'd have to pick through the ones I wanted to critique.
What would they say about your work?
Well, I was in the drawing department,
Oh, okay.
and I would say,
Instantly more political, isn't it?
like, there was a lot of drinking there when I went. And rowdy. Rather, like, I think different bodies of, like, different classes bring different personalities to different departments.
Yeah.
But we would have these really safe critiques where there'd be like 5 instructors sitting pretty much Zoe Andrews right now.
Yeah.
You'd put a piece up, and Cotman would say he liked 2 elements, but he wasn't crazy about the other 3. The next teacher would say, oh, I like these 2 elements, but I'm not crazy about those 3. And by the time you'd gone through all 5, each one of them would have picked 2 random things they liked and shredded the rest, and then they would just sort of trade it off. So you basically walked out with a wash. Yeah. It would always come out kind of even. And I feel like when I was in school, a lot of how we were graded was how we presented ourselves.
Right.
The really intense
Yes, that's
academic student
Yeah.
always got A's.
yeah.
I was kind of goofy and I downplayed how easy it was. And I tended to get like B's and B plus. I think I had like A's when I got more serious in the end, but it was because I looked more serious, not because I was more serious. I really feel like the adult students just naturally got higher grades and more support and respect. And I would honestly say my years as a kid, I felt like I was irritating people. Right?
Yeah.
Because I was fast and good. And I never really had to try hard. And there was one moment where Halliday came and pulled me aside and asked me if I was taking it seriously, which broke me. But it turned out to be the best moment in my art school.
Yeah.
Because,
That's what I mean. I never had a moment like that. Like, no one was like really pushed up.
yeah, so Gonzo and Tammy and Jason were in Halliday's class, and I was initially in Port Ferguson's class. And I was fast, so I'd go in the class, get all my shit done. And I just fucking loved Richard Halliday so much that I went down. No, that's appropriate. Facebook can block me. I loved him so much that I'd go in and I'd do his projects. And then, but I'd be there half the day, right? So one day he pulls me aside and starts giving me a speech about how, I'm talented, I got promise, but I'm just not taking it seriously, and I really need to think about whether I want to be there or not. And I was, torn to shreds. And then I suddenly realized he didn't know I was in Timmy's class. I was like, no, I'm in Gord's class. I was doing double duty, getting my work done in Gord's class as I could bust over to Holiday's class and do his work. And I was doing his projects, keeping up with the course load, but he was concerned that I was only here and there half the time. So that was pretty fun for me, because it was both painful and fun.
See, this tall guy, white, long white hair.
You're thinking of Cotman. Cotman kind of grew into Holiday.
Kind of growly.
That's what he looked like. Cotman looks like Holiday did now. I mean, Cotman now looks like Holiday did then.
Is Holiday Coffee still there?
I don't know. Holiday kind of looked like Animal.
Jim Henson. He looked a lot like Jim Henson.
He looked like Jim Henson and John Wayne.
Yeah.
He's a big, burly, kind of a bear of man. I think in his late years he played the rough up old cowboy in a lot of TV shows. Kind of took up acting near the end.
Yeah, I think I know.
Charlie sounds familiar, but
I drew him on the fence of Mark's mural in what's that area called?
Off Country Hill.
Yeah.
In the north.
Mark made the longest
Mural.
mural in Canada.
Panorama?
I mean, somebody might be in it by now.
Not Hillhurst.
It's off of Country Hills Boulevard to the
Skyview?
north. It's kind of by Notre Dame High School.
Maybe.
I can't remember. I always get Coventry and Country.
I think it is Coventry.
Is it Coventry in the south?
It's not. We can Google it.
No. Coventry's up.
Oh, is it? Then it might be Coventry.
I think it's Coventry.
What's in the south? It sounds like
Andrew just
Coventry.
broke his pose.
Yeah, it's not.
Did I move?
Now you smiled.
I
But it completely changed what you were doing.
one of the ones that you're looking really edgy. I caught one when I was looking at your face. You're smiling, so it's smiles on your face, and it's the rest is very emotional. Yeah. Actually, this one is
Yeah, actually, that book I gave you about running really triggered a lot of stuff in my art practice.
Oh, yeah.
I really doubt the part. Well, the persistence thinking part's really blew my mind. And there's some pretty deep understandings of Lala that I tried to just a little bit.
time.
Going to run?
Time.
Yeah, just one thing that I took was we had this idea of what's the upper limit and how far we can go nobody's ever heard of,
Controlling.
or like way further beyond that, like next level kind of thing.
Like it doesn't occur to them to not run.
Yeah, yeah.
At 85.
But it's like.
I have no idea what you're talking about now.
So it's this book called Born to Run, which is about this journalist who goes down to Mexico and he meets these people, this tribe of people that are these ultra marathon runners,
Mhm.
but like ultra. Like
They do
run
5
further.
back-to-back marathons.
Yeah, like they run further and beyond
No way.
what anybody else is.
This is the
is
book I'm
capable.
looking for. Like,
And
I'm looking for a good book that just like makes you think you can go beyond what you are.
Yeah, and then
So
these
this
guys
is
they
good.
run in sandals
Okay.
through these mountains, and they're just
we actually, can you give them that book?
yeah, it's great there.
I can only do audiobooks, so I'll check it out. If it's...
Why don't you take it and try it with an audiobook?
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Read along with it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I started with the audiobook, and then I went and read the analog
Are
book.
we doing anything?
Yes.
Because you'll probably
Oh,
want to write
yeah.
stuff down as well.
We have time for 20 to finish.
Is it okay to dog ear, or do you?
You will read that and then give it to somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe even your brother. And
Yeah.
read it back.
like somebody else has
More
highlighted
than
it and put it.
Nice.
20?
I think so. We can do 20 to finish. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank you. Sweet. I was like looking for some because I can't afford the audiobook right now, so that's
20.
really sweet of you guys. Thank you.
Why can't you afford the audiobook?
Just
Audible.
Audible. Yeah, I'm waiting for another credit.
Ah.
Okay.
I wonder if
I
it's
just
the credit.
used
He's
my
like, what? Where's my list? What did I want to get?
Actually, so the only reason I can live is Jess supports me and I pay all my child support. But she's really decent about letting me buy extra credits now, which used to be a problem for me. So, but I thought Audible went kind of like COVID style, like free for everybody.
It was free for kids, but I don't know how long that lasted, and I don't know if it was just for kids books.
Wow.
Yeah, so they immediately went free for all you.
But Jess and I have.
But I don't know how they handled that. If it was for everyone, or if it was you're like.
I don't want to fake
you.
my age. Just get free books. That's true.
Yeah, just tell everybody you're 7.
Yeah. I would not feel
But-
good about that.
But you know what? If you're stuck for money, I would think it'd be totally reasonable
It's fine. We'll just go to.
Yeah, that's
for you to ask your mother or your father to give you like the $7. Because even when you buy books when your credits are up, you get them for half price, right?
right.
But they're still pretty expensive. Like they're like $30 for each book on there.
Yeah, I find
If it would have been $30 and chapters for a hard copy, it's $15 on that.
Wow. Sometimes there is a $30 book. Just wait for the credit.
But you know what? I had one I waited for 2 credits, and it was like a $90 book.
2 credit book?
Right?
Wow. Was it twice as good as other books?
It was the greatest book.
What is it called?
I don't want to say.
Greatest book ever written.
There is a list of 10 books you should read if
Okay.
you want to be well read.
Yeah.
One of them is the Bible, which, whether you read it as an atheist or as a thumper, it is one of the books that you're supposed to try and tackle academically. And so I had it in my mind that I should just read it so that I would know what people that were fanatics or people that were reasonable or whatever. I just wanted to know what was in it, because it is loaded with like great stories and poetry. It's got kind of a bad rep because, you know, like those, you know, fanatics. But I had it in my mind. I wanted to know what was in it. So I wasn't going to read it. And actually, that's one of the tasks I do when I use audiobooks is I try and nail stuff that I wouldn't sit down and read.
Mm-hmm.
So I
You writing
stumbled
notes while you're
across
listening, or?
a 2-credit version of the Holy Bible Old Testament read by James Earl Jones
No
with
way.
sound effects.
No way.
Yeah.
Like Darth
In the
Vader.
beginning,
I want that.
there is one. And the amazing thing is, because the Bible, and there's a lot of books that are like this, it was meant to be a narrative. So you can't read the Bible without lulling yourself to sleep. And that's why people don't know all the crazy stuff that's in it.
Yeah.
And there is some crazy stuff in it.
No.
But what happens is you read a story and then it starts telling you that Enoch was born to.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I was like,
Be
how do
gone.
you-
Because it's
Be
it's
gone
not
by.
just James Earl Jones. It's Cuba Gooding Jr. and
Lawrence Fishburne.
all of the African American movie stars, and it's a Baptist Bible.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're getting all kinds of details that you didn't get from the King James Bible. For instance, in the story of Lot, and the what was it again? His wife turned to salt. What's that story called?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
Yeah.
God had given up on human beings, but I think the archangel had talked him into giving them one more chance. So he sent 2 angels down to have a final look at these people and make a decision. So he sent 2 angels down. Now, in the King James Bible, the townspeople come and they're like, let us speak to these angels. We want to know them. And the innkeeper's like, over my dead body. And you're like, that doesn't seem worth dying for. They just want to get to know them. But in the actual Bible, the traditional
like
Bible,
what it means.
it was, let us speak to these angels. We would like to make love with them.
Like,
And you're like, oh,
know them.
now I get it. And that's why they say knowing in the biblical sense. But like there were so many like nuances that have been sort of protected from my own catechisms as a child
Right.
that made so much more sense when they didn't cut the details out or
Right.
modify the details to be less. So I mean, I got as far as the Sons of Luke, and then I put it away because it was actually freaking me out. It's like,
I like this Trump guy. Really isn't that bad.
It's so true.
you know the story of the Sons of Luke?
No, I've never heard of
Because
this.
there's Nephilim. There's like giants in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had sex with the angels
Yeah.
and they turned into giants.
What Don Quixote was based off of.
So the Sons of Luke had a sister, and she was mistreated by a fella, and they were going to beat him to death, which is, I think, reasonable. Her father and his father intervened and decided the solution was to honor her by having her marry the man that mistreated her.
Oh no.
The Sons of Luke were not having it, and they were like, no, that is not a decent solution for our sister. And the fathers of the tribes had decided, no, that's the way it's going to be. We don't want a war. And so they said, well, we cannot have her marry our sister. They're uncircumcised. And so to save this war, the entire, I think they were called tribe, of the other family had agreed to become circumcised as adults. And that night, while they were laying in their cots,
Oh,
Healing.
no.
bleeding,
Yeah.
the Sons of Luke crept in while they're sleeping and slaughtered them. And I don't know what the moral of the story is, but it did make me think of you don't want to mess with the Sons of Luke. And I got so that I was actually getting kind of like scared reading it because I couldn't piece it together. And I think that's why people have like groups where they go and talk about these things. But
yeah.
scared for humanity and scared for all kinds of things. I mean that with all the respect in the world. Not to tell you the truth, I regretted buying it because I couldn't get through it. But I just recently bought the other half of this book, which is the New Testament read by Johnny Cash.
No
Oh, there you go.
way.
So
No way.
yeah, so I mean, actually, I feel like I've read a lot more than a lot of the people that do things like claiming to read the Bible. But,
Well, nobody actually reads the Old Testament.
no, because when you get to the part with the Sons of Luke, you're
You're
like,
like, no.
I can't really abide by what
Control
they're
that.
saying. Well, because it's not so much of it's just not reasonable. Like it goes from an eye for an eye to turn the other cheek, and they have people spend lifetimes trying to put an understanding to it. And it's, you know, if you're gonna, I think for people that just sort of buy into it wholeheartedly, it's really important for them to never think about it because it's just too much to.
Sounds like a good story. I gotta check it out.
The
Really.
Bible, you should read the Bible, yeah.
I just can't get through the part where it's just talking about the families of this family.
I
of
didn't.
this
Did I
family.
tell you how they deal with that?
How?
Because they have Morgan Freeman and all these people.
Yeah.
And-
At the part where they get into these droning parts, which I think are meant to be, like I said, spoken.
Yeah.
It's not like Biggie or anything, but they rap, right? Like they
Oh.
get into this. You realize that it's written with this cadence
Rhythm, yeah.
and a rhythm, and as they read it out, there's this kind of like story, and then this kind of pounding low of names and bodies and places, and then bam, another story, and then the pounding low. And actually, I was reading that at the same time that I was reading Roots.
Right.
And I was really mesmerized how the African stories and histories and roots were so similar to the Christian Bible, Old Testament. And then, of course, like the Old Testament came from Africa, right? So
Right.
it's like so influenced by the other ancient stories and, you know.
Interesting. Well, that's also very interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
what
I really shouldn't say that I was scared and I stopped. I stopped because I started becoming really intrigued as an anthropologist, and I think like the way that Alex got into world myths and comparing those things, I think it can really be a tunnel that
Rabbit hole, yeah.
you could spend your entire life.
Oh yeah, arguing for it, arguing against it.
Or even
Or
just
not even
studying
arguing,
and
just
being
like
interested.
studying it. Yeah. Like
It's
learning.
interesting. I mean, I like to take those things as an anthropologist, and I like to look in and think about what do people of my generation still read and understand and think,
Yeah.
and what did people of 2,000 years ago think, and in some cases, what did people of 10,000 years ago think, right? Like,
There's also like if you compare the different testaments, like there's some books that are the same, just written by a different person, and then you'll compare those, and then there's a lot of missing information between the two.
Well, yeah, and a lot of books have been taken out depending on who was in power and who, like, what stories or books they wanted
there's a
in.
book called The Nazarene, I think. It might not be the right name, but it was made famous by Fox News because the guy that wrote it was Muslim, and he did his doctorate thesis on the life of Jesus, and they were really offended, like hot. But
What?
I
Fox?
found out about this book because they were so offended, so I was like, I'll
Like,
check that
yes.
out. And it's a really neat book where he takes an anthropological look at the actual
Like
life of Jesus of Nazareth.
Nice.
And so he treats the entire book as a history. And so, you know, when he's talking about this event and that event,
Oh, that's so cool.
what's that? Yeah. And then he also breaks down how the Bibles were recorded. And so for one thing, and there's a lot of stuff that I was totally misinformed about.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like Peter, who's the rock of the church. I thought he was one of the apostles because there was an apostle named Peter, but Peter, the rock of the church, lived a generation after Jesus and met Jesus kind of in a dream. Which is like, you know, like I have this conversation with the kids at school sometimes, is like, you know, if so many times in these stories, you know, God or Jesus or Buddha or whoever is disguised as a hermit or a bum or, you know, an ugly dog, and then you have this opportunity to do the right thing when you don't know who you're dealing with. Imagine you're just sitting in class and the guy kicks the door open and says, "I'm the Son of God, get in my van," and it's a black van with tinted windows. Like, I'd be like, no way you guys are going in the van. But, you know, according to a lot of the scriptures, that's the
situation.
most the most loved by God is the ones that don't ask for proof, right? So
Yeah.
there are a lot of weird predictions that create all kinds of cool conversations, and in the end, like, there's a group called the Unitarians. I'm probably like losing friends and viewers by talking about this right now. But there's a group called the Unitarians, and they don't believe.
I think this Kelly's watching. On
No,
YouTube.
she's even clicked out. They don't believe in heaven or magic or a life after death, but they do believe in the story of Christ, that he just gave good advice. Kind of the way like Snoopy and Charlie Brown gave you lots of good advice too. And I think that's a really interesting way for people to handle things. So they're not looking for some. I mean, think about like how Christianity took over all the world religions, right? Well, in this one religion, you go to church and you pray and nothing good ever happens. But in this other religion, you go to church and pray and you get to go euphoria for infinity. Oh, and that's the one that turned out to be more popular, right? Like it's quite a pitch. And so I don't know. Like I tend to assume that I can't know what's going to happen until I die. And I like to keep my mind open to all things, but I think that like it's pretty tempting to sort of bash it too, right? Like I think a lot of people just bash it because it's easy to bash. I'm gonna end this live stream before I end my career. Either one of them, tell you the truth.